would eat him alive
and be gone with him.
Like, well, honey, you just like, nigga,
yeah.
You don't put some bass in your voice.
Like, the minute he came to me and said, "You are the light of my life," I'd have been like, "You better close the curtains." Hey, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of your favorite podcast, Everything in the Kitchen Sink. As you all know, my name is Tasha, and I am here with my lovely co-host,
Nasia.
And we have a special guest in the building today. We got our very near and dear friend that we've met all of 3 weeks ago. Okay, Wildcard Spadez, aka Spadez. Okay, and he is from the Put It Like This podcast. And go ahead and tell the people about yourself.
Hey, you already know it's Wildcard Spadez, aka Mr. Get It Bam. You know what I mean? Just hanging out with the ladies today, having a nice little conversation from Put It Like This podcast. You know, we had to show some love. You already know.
Yes. And we are happy to have you. So thank you, as always. Thank you.
Okay, come on in, pull up a chair, sit down, behave yourselves, be nice to our guests.
yes. Behave yourself.
You gotta be nice. You don't gotta be nice.
Oh.
Nah. I want you to go ahead and give it to me raw, all the way raw. No niceness.
Is that what's going on in your dating life? Are you giving it to them raw?
Wait, hold on.
Start off slow, Tasha.
Start off, just hit the ground running, huh?
I mean, you know, I got time. Listen, I'm aging. I don't have time to waste. I'm getting old.
Today we're going to be talking about dating, and you know we always talk about dating, and so funnily enough, Spades, you are the first male guest. He is the first male, so shout out to you. Most of the time we always just talk to ladies.
Thank you.
You know, we want to make sure we get a man in here to bring that energy, the testosterone, to tell us about dating and how is it for you. So first question, Spades, is are you single? Are you dating? What's your situation? Getting your business now.
Okay, so I am. I've been in a long-term relationship. I've been in a relationship for about. I don't want to tell my age, but I've been in a relationship for about 20 years.
Wow! Congratulations!
Yeah. It's hard though because I ain't gonna sit here and act like I ain't never stepped out or nothing like that. So, you know, that's always a factor when you are dating anybody in any type of relationship, whether whatever you're doing, it's going to be a factor in there. I mean, temptation is always around. I don't care what nobody say. Temptation is always around. So, I mean, that's more like my situation, more so, just trying to stay in the faithful lane. Because black men don't cheat. So
okay, Lil Duval.
So some of the challenges with the relationship and so on, and just maybe getting out there or stuff like that. What has been your challenge since you've been in such a long-term relationship?
Well, I mean, probably the biggest challenge would be being a guy. You know what I mean? Being a guy, especially in this day and age, because it's like it don't matter, married or whatever kind of relationship status you got going on. It's like fair game out there, in which I can't really judge nobody because you also have what do you call it?
Polyamorous, polygamy.
Polyamorous. You have polyamorous relationships too. So, you can't really judge anybody because, I mean, if you ask me, being in a relationship and staying with one person is like, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I don't care who you are. It's a challenge to everybody. As far as like, are you guys single?
I'm married.
Oh, you're married. Okay.
And I'm married for 900 years as well.
900 years. Okay.
So I don't know the street. I come to learn about that.
Right, that black don't crack. That's my little chocolate moving sister over there.
Yeah.
But okay, so since it's not so much that you're dating, but you're in a long-term relationship for over 20 years, what makes you stay? I know you say that it's crazy out there and it's challenging, but what are the benefits of that? What makes you stay in your relationship?
Staying in my relationship, it's more like of course it's love there, but it's also that feeling of comfortability. Like if you know this person, all right, I could trust this person to a certain extent, because me, I have trust issues. I don't trust anybody, like as far as I could throw. You know what I mean? So for me to have at least some type of trust in this person, that's what kind of makes me say, okay, damn, I would have to build that all the way back up with somebody else if I was if I was to move on or go somewhere else. It's like you have to start all the way from the bottom. And like, well, my biggest thing of staying in a relationship is having some kind of trust, and she can cook good.
Hey, we love that.
Ass off.
Yes,
we love that.
Well, long-term relationship, every time, as we're going for long-term relationships, but I know earlier you said something about like it's a temptation and you're trying to stay faithful. This is a big topic with the poly lifestyle now that we have with people, they opening it up, they get another woman, get another man in the bedroom, whatever it is that you're doing. So is it something that you feel you would want it to do because you're having trouble sometimes being faithful, or is something that you just look, I'm just trying to be faithful and call it a day?
Well, I don't really have trouble. I did when I was younger, I had trouble being faithful. You know what I mean? But like now, at this point in stage of my life, I don't have no trouble with that because, like I said, the dating scene out there is ridiculous. So I don't really have trouble being faithful. And then, as far as being faithful, I mean, it's all a mindset. It's all a mindset. It's not really about your situation. It's not about who can do what for you or what they can do for you. It's more so about, if you make that decision in your mind as a man or as a person in general, if you make that decision in your mind and say, I'm just going to be faithful, it's really nothing to it. It's not a hard decision once you make it in your mind. But like they always say, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be faithful, you're not going to be faithful.
Absolutely. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
So do you think it's more difficult? Like I know you're saying, as a man, and you being out there and people are automatically drawn to you. Don't you feel like it's the same way for your lady? Like she may have the same struggles, as far as being faithful. Because meditate, she sister out here throwing it down, Somebody checking for her fried
throwing
chicken
it down and throwing it down.
Yeah, I mean that's an issue too, and that goes into that trust issue thing, because it's like, I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is the guy standpoint on the show. A guy that's being faithful is going to be 10 times as worried about his woman cheating on him as opposed to a guy that's not being faithful. You know what I mean? And that's more so because he doesn't want to end up being the one that gets played at the end of the day. So, those thoughts do go through my mind. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And especially the times when I wasn't being faithful, it's like, okay, now it's my time. I deserve this now. You know what I mean? But really, and that's a bad way of thinking, like, because nobody deserves that. If you're in a relationship, it should be all
that struggle of.
Yeah. You're supposed to be all honesty. Like if anything happened, all right, I fucked up. It's my bad. I did something wrong, or and then you move past that. It's not like, oh, now it's my turn, I deserve it. But guys will feel like that. I have myself.
Most men are not seeing their woman through a cheating situation though. Once the woman cheats, she's out. Like most men are not going to. You see, like how you're saying, I was unfaithful earlier in our relationship, but obviously, sister stuck around. You wouldn't have stuck around if she had stepped out earlier. So why do you think that is?
Because I think more so because of how we look at women. You guys are precious to us. Like I say it all the time, y'all the greatest creation God has ever made in my eyes. So
yes,
when we look at our queen, you know what I mean, and her some guys can deal with it. You know, some guys can go past that, and some guys they are hurt and they can't go past it. So it's like when y'all do something, it's like 10 times harder because we know y'all feel like when we go do something. I know it's cliche, but that's what it is for us. When we go do something, we just do it. Boom.
It was just a nut. It was just a nut.
It's a nut.
Yeah.
I'm out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here go a dime sack on the table for you. Get good night. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's like it's nothing. It's not that deep, but we know when y'all do it, it's a lot deeper. Because,
emotional.
Yeah, because
but not all the time. I feel like men think that too, but we could do that nut and bounce too. I mean, some women can do it. Like
some women can.
Good luck. I just came to get my tires rotated because I feel like a lot of time when it's like, we have a reason. Like, okay, you might step out because, the sex is not good. He's a great guy, but it's just not hitting there. Or he's emotionally not invested. So maybe you emotionally cheat with somebody. Like I think we have more of a reason, but one of those reasons can still be, I came for a nut and I'm a bounce too. I mean, I feel like they always make women feel like we're wrapped up in our emotions and we're going to fall in love with the side dude. No, sometimes the side dude just a side dude.
No, I don't think it's necessarily emotional. Like I'm in love with the side dude. I think what it is like, because women are not, we were talking about it in our last episode, actually, women are not conditioned. So like if a woman goes out to cheat, like she committed and executed a plan to go cheat. Like it's not one of those, oh, place, guys don't really got a plan. It's like, they throw everything to the wall and what stick will stick. But if your woman's stepping out, she's stepping out.
No, but it could be she finds somebody too, like how y'all do it. Y'all bumped into the grocery store and something happened. Now, don't get it twisted. If this is a continuation cheating, she got a plan and execution. You got to map that thing out, but if it's just like, I met him one day and then, something happened and it just happened. But now if I'm meeting him every day or every Wednesday, then I got a plan.
Listen, we've all seen those Lifetime movies. We know how those end.
I was brought up by a lot of women too, so that's why I kind of got the woman's perspective too on that. Like what y'all saying is facts. Women also just one night stand and bounce. You know what I mean? Like, and they're not even thinking about it. It's like, all right, whatever, I did that, boom, 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 on to the next or whatever. It's in another.
I feel like the dating is getting kind of crazy. High in the streets, obviously, but what I look at is a lot of. I feel social media, and I'm not one of the people that like to blame social media. Like I feel it's stupid. It's the people behind social media, but I feel like because of social media is so fast, and sometimes you don't even want to read an article. Sometimes if it's too many words, you're like, oh,
I ain't reading all that.
We ain't no long comments. So I feel like people take that same microwave approach to dating. Like, oh, I'm gonna just send a mass text. If I get 5 back, it's all right. You know what I mean? Like we're not investing in people anymore. It's just kind of like either I'm doing it for the look, or I think it should be this way because I saw Jay-Z and Beyonce doing this. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like social media now is such a heavy part of our life because I feel like when we were younger, we had a little MySpace and, to my age, but a little AOL, it wasn't that deep. But now it's like social media is literally a part of our lives minute to minute. So it's like we take that same approach to everything we do. And I feel like that's really changed the game.
Where a lot of I think that's where a lot of the breakdown is because like Nasia is saying, it's all microwavable. No one wants to build and have a foundation. Everybody just wants the house. Like nobody wants to know what's under the house. And you can't work like that. It's gonna fall.
Yeah, absolutely. But talking about that, see, you also were in a long-term relationship. How did you, 20 years, how did you deal with the changes and the, still to try to connect? Because I could say for me, it's not an easy task. Like marriage ain't no easy feat. You know what I mean? I'm not one of people like, oh, marriage is terrible, but it's something you literally have to commit to every day to every week to work on it and to make sure that you commit because it's two people coming from two different worlds coming together trying to make something work. So for me, I could say I could answer the question and you can answer the question as well. It's like to constantly maintain that long-term relationship as I'm growing. I wouldn't say that. I would say like we both grow together, but not together as in like now we have the same dreams and aspirations. Like I respect your growth and you respect my growth, even though we might be parallel to. I mean, like how do you kind of do it in your relationship to maintain it for 20 years as well too?
Well, like our relationship is kind of old school. Like our relationship is kind of like, the head and the neck type relationship. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all anybody understand what the head and the neck. I'll explain it a little bit more. Head and the neck is
the support.
I'm the head, and my wifey is the support. You know what I mean? So it's like that's been our dynamic for a long time, and it works. And I mean, if you look at past relationships, that's why grandma that's why Nana and Pop stayed together so long, because of that dynamic. Because it wasn't more so it was equal, well, not so equal back then.
I'm gonna say grandma and grandpa. I don't like that narrative. I don't subscribe to that. I don't like that one.
That was a little
grandma, different. Grandma sometimes had to stay because she really have no choices, growing up, women didn't really go out and work and stuff like that. So she kind of had to stay at Pop. She may not have wanted to stay at Pop, but to do the best for her family, she stayed. She stayed,
right. So that situation in that back then is different than now, because we're more progressive. And I don't think of her as less than, you know what I mean? I think of her as because the head can't move without the neck. So I think of her as an equal, you know what I mean? But our dynamic is like that old school dynamic where I go make sure things are taken care of. I go bring home the bacon, and
she cooks it.
She raised the kids. I got 3 kids. She raised all 3 of them marvelously. Did a great job.
That.
And she worked too, but like she don't work too much because she focuses more on home.
The house.
She focuses more on making sure home is good. And she get her bag, on the side, but she makes sure home is number one. And now, like, my kids are older. My son is moved out. My daughter's moved out. I don't have one kid that's left. So our dynamic has always been like that. And to be honest, it kind of worries me, because now with the kids being gone, that's kind of.
I was going to ask you that, because when you said. I actually have 2 follow-up questions to that. Sorry, Nasia, I'll let you. Don't forget your point.
No, I wasn't saying nothing. Go ahead.
I had 2 follow-up questions, because your dynamic is very similar to Nasia and Andre's dynamic in some aspects, as far as Andre is the breadwinner and Nasia cooks up the tofu because they're only baking over there.
I'm a breadwinner too. It ain't the same dynamic. We both bring the bread. Only things I
both bring the bread. Yeah,
I mean, like the guy is like the majority bread winner.
Yes,
in the relationship, in our relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's very similar, not exact same, but it's very similar. Mm-hmm. But I was gonna say, so now that the kids are out of the house, because I have like empty, my 21-year-old, I'm trying to hold on to her by the reins, but she's like, I'm gonna bring a child. But I feel like, once the kids are older and they're out of the house now, because you call her your wife, right? So your wife, she spent most of the time, raising the kids and doing stuff like that. Now that you guys have more time to focus on each other, because there's the 2 older ones, what's that like? Because I'm always trying to hold on to my daughter because I'm single. I'm like, stay home. Watch Netflix with me now.
Netflix with me. You can't go out. No. Nah, but it's like, honestly, it puts a bigger spotlight on it. And it's like, this is like, we had hard times before with the kids, but this is going to be the telltale, because it's kind of like all the people that got divorced during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. When they had to spend time with each other, they realized that you're not the same. You're not that person that I, whatever. So like, this is like that staple that's going to actually be the telltale that lets us know if it's really been that, or if it's been more so like just day to day. Like you know what I mean?
The familiarity, because I'm just doing it because it's what I'm because I was what I know, it's what I'm used to. So now that I don't have those routines, we're not rushing people off to school, we're not doing homework and parent teacher night. Now that it's just you and her, what does that look like for you two?
Yeah, I mean that's right now. It's okay. We still got one more. We still got one more. He hasn't gone yet. So he's the last piece of glue that's that's supposed to be the imaginary glue that's there. And you know, he probably won't be going anywhere no time soon anyway, because he's like baby. Like you know, he's stuck. He's stuck on. He's like 2 Chainz. He titty boy. He's stuck up under mommy and stuck up under daddy. He really doesn't want to go anywhere. So that's gonna be the hardest one to get rid of. But I mean, the other two, you know, they're going about their business, doing their. My son is actually in the Marines right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, you both are relatively young still. I mean, what if you have another baby before all of that happens?
Nah, that's not happening. We tied up over here. We tied up over here.
All right. It's up and it's stuck. It's up and it's stuck.
Oh no.
Give me some advice. Tell me what I should be doing to allure the men into my trap.
I like that.
I already told you. I gave you the cheat code. Get in that kitchen and make some good ass food.
I gotta get him.
That's all we need. That is all we need. Look, put your mouth on it.
It's not the way to the stomach.
Put your mouth on it every once in a while. Make something good to eat a lot of the times, and make sure that oven stay warm for me. You know what I mean?
And that's it.
So it's all sex. I don't have nothing about my personality. Like, really? This is what we're gonna diminish me to is sex.
And food. Don't forget the food.
Sex and food.
No,
so chicken and coochie.
Personality.
I got chicken and coochie.
The 2 C's. Goddamn. Nah, but you do have to have a personality. Like as far as personality wise for men, it's like we just need somebody that we can be cool with. You know what I mean? We need to be able to talk to you about stuff without being judged, without being looked at as like, oh, you're being an asshole for saying that to me. Because I'm like, to me, me personally, I'm one of those guys that I just speak my mind. You know what I mean? To whoever, whether it's my lady, whether it's my homie, I'm going to speak my mind. So sometimes the things that I might say, it might not sound as PG as you PC as you want it to be, or whatever, however you want to say it. It doesn't sound like something that you want to hear, but if you think about it back, you might feel some type of way at the time, but if you sit back and think about what I said, I'm not going to tell you anything that's malicious. Mm-hmm. If I tell you something, it's from the heart, and I'm like, no, you fucking up. You know what I mean? You should do this better, or you should do that better. You know what I mean? It's like, I want somebody to tell me that. I want you to tell me I'm fucking up. I need to do this better. I need to do that better. You know what I mean? So I put that same, I give that same courtesy to anybody else that I talk to. So that's one of the things that if you do get in a relationship, when you do get in a relationship with somebody, that is one of the things that we do. You know, we look forward to, like that. You gotta be like our homie.
The homie lover friend.
Homie lover friend. Straight up. That's it. That's
the chicken.
I mean, I couldn't have said it no better. That's it.
The chicken. I got it.
And the chicken. Gotta make sure you got it fried right.
But there's a lot of women out there in long-term relationships, they can't boil water. So we ain't gonna say that.
You know what?
They eat out. My brother, I'll give you guys a promise that my brother is happily married. His wife cannot cook. Shout out to you, homegirl. But she cannot cook. He's happily married. He's happily married.
How are the dudes, like your friends? How are they having it, like with women approaching them, or do they approach women? I mean, I think Tasha might have the relationship down, but let's start with the initial. That's what we have an issue on society.
That's what I'm struggling with.
Tasha,
I don't know how to play that.
You look like,
I don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, you look like somebody come. You not with the bullshit at all.
At all.
As soon as they come the wrong way, you like, all right, fuck you, out of there. You know what I mean? So that's not a bad way to be, though. especially nowadays, because a lot of the guys, I'm gonna tell you the strongest relationships that people have nowadays is from the woman or the person that kind of will stand up, kind of push them away. And you know that it's gonna be that real relationship, that person that you like, nah, fuck that. You gotta get your shit together, you gotta come better, you gotta come correct at me like that. So that person will be like, if you find that person and that's the one that actually fights for you and it keeps going and it keeps coming back, he doesn't take no for an answer. Those be the strongest relationships, I tell you, no lie. It always starts like that. Like, I really didn't want to be with you. That my wife, you tell me that all the time. I wasn't supposed to be with you. I didn't even like you when we first got, but you were just so persistent. You were so persistent. You just kept coming. So I just fell for your charm. Yeah.
It's like, girl, let me get some of that fried chicken. I really got the fried chicken in the kitchen.
I didn't get the fried chicken after I had to work for the fried chicken. But that's what it is. Like, you had that, if they're willing to go that extra mile and wait for you to actually, say,
soften up. Yeah. Nasia
right.
says that. Nasia always says, I don't have a lot of feminine energy. Like, I need to soften up. But I'm a Brooklyn girl. I'm a Brooklyn girl.
Some guys like that. Yeah.
I don't know how being no different.
Yeah.
She hardcore. She hardcore. She the hardcore man. You know what I'm saying?
What's up? Trying. Like, I don't know how
was it Russell Wilson? She hates Russell Wilson. I would love a little Russell Wilson for her or something. She can't stand. Why are you looking like that? Why nobody don't like
Not
Russell
that
Wilson?
I don't like Russell Wilson, but for Taj, Russell Wilson,
I would eat him up.
You would eat him alive
and be gone with him.
Like, well, honey, like, nigga,
you
don't put some bass in your voice. Like,
the minute he came to me and said, "You are the light of my life," I'd have been like, "You better close the curtains." I don't got time for this bullshit.
Real.
Why is there $52 on the cable bill? No.
For real, like, nah, I don't see you with no type of Russell Wilson type guy.
I can't. I gotta be
you with like a R.I.P. DMX Buns. I see what you with like a Buns type dude. You know what I mean? From Belly, his character.
Definitely.
From Belly. I see
somebody hardcore.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to. Because y'all gonna bump heads, and he gotta be able to be strong enough to not back down. That's what.
Because I want to
say Russell Wilson is strong. He just nice. He is strong. That's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all be on the wrong dude. He seemed like a nice dude. The best type of dude, in my opinion, is always a dude. Even if he a nerd, or you want to say he corny, or if he a street dude, he always gotta be a dude that knows who he is. Once he's like fully comfortable in who
he's comfortable with himself. I agree.
You can't shift him and move him. He not like, oh, he see Pookie with a new Benz, and he like, oh, son, I gotta get me that Benz. Like, he got to be a dude that I know what works for me. I know it is. Boom. And that could come in all flavors and all types of men. And I feel like Russell Wilson, he has that kind of vibe. Like, he know who he is. He ain't trying to be no street dude. He know who he is. He working with who he is.
Well, that's Sierra's man. So we can move on from that. Because I don't do OPP.
All right. Scenario. So, Taj.
Yeah.
So you would wait until after marriage before y'all test the roads? You know what I mean?
Not a chance in hell.
I don't believe in that.
Because I don't believe in it either, brother.
Once you sign that paper,
because I'm not gonna hold you. Because on the honeymoon night, if it don't give what it's supposed to give, we'll get a divorce.
You know what I mean?
We'll get a divorce the next day.
Like, what did they say? Somebody said, Tasha want Tupac with a Yale degree. And the combination,
you know what?
Not out
He's
there.
out there.
Happened.
He's out there though. He's out there.
Where he at?
Trust me.
Trust me. How many people you know Tupac with a Yale degree? Go ahead.
Trust me. There's a Tupac out there with a Yale degree or with a Harvard degree. One of those Ivy League colleges. He's out there. Trust me when I tell you. These guys, it's just like, it's so few and far in between, yes, but they're out there. And I mean, come to Atlanta. If you come to Atlanta,
ciao, bye. Good night. Hang up.
We'll be logging off now.
Yeah, we're logging off now. And who?
Hey, I didn't say that he wouldn't have on a wig now. I didn't say he wouldn't have on a wig, but come to Atlanta, you might find that that Tupac with that degree.
Close enough. I'm in Houston. Really? It's close enough.
That's a good spot though. That's another good spot.
I'm in Houston.
We got
you know what I'm saying? I got a little brawn on me. I'm ready to go horseback riding, grab some cows and whatnot, but it ain't happening. But enough about me. I'm ready to put you back in the hot seat, Mr. Wildcard. Okay. So it's been 20 years, and we're talking about, you said you have a very old school dynamic, and we don't really subscribe to gender roles here. Mm-hmm. So your lady comes to you, she's down on one knee with the ring in the box, and she's proposing marriage. What are you saying?
Well, to be honest, 18 years ago, I did that.
Okay.
18 years ago, yeah. You know what I mean?
So what happened? She wasn't ready?
No, it's done. 18 years now.
18 years. So you said you're married.
So you're engaged?
Wifey. Yeah.
It's your wife, like on paper in the court of law.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got a long-term relationship.
It is. What you mean?
You are such a man.
That's what it is.
You are a married man, sir.
I am.
You are such a man.
No, I'm gonna be honest, Space. The way you said it, it was like a long-term relationship.
Now tell me what woman you know was gonna stay. Well, it does happen.
It's a lot.
It does happen. It does happen. I'm not. We don't judge here, and we don't judge.
I'm not the type of guy. I'm not that type of guy to waste your time for 20 years. Nah, not for 20 years.
Because I was looking at you sideways.
Married 5 years. Damn, give me some credit. Jeez.
You know what's funny? I was looking at you sideways. I'm like, I have to ask. That's why I brought it up, because I'm like, you're a good guy. You're talking a good game. You really love your lady. You love her cooking. You gave the girl 3 babies. Why would you marry her? That's what I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, what's going on?
See, I'm glad you asked that question. You didn't assume.
Yeah,
because I'm direct. I thought you just been a long-term relationship.
I have. That's what it is. It's a long-term relationship.
That's my wife.
That's your wife. You said wifey. Wifey. Ain't no why. Ain't no wily. It's a wife.
It's your wife.
Wife.
Well, yeah. All right then. Well, yes.
She's on my taxes kind of wife.
18 years. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
But he can still answer the question though. What if she was close to you?
What if she what?
Well, are you? Because that was our last week's episode.
Uh-huh.
If she proposes, women proposing to men, how do you feel about it? How do you look at your homeboys if that were to happen? What's your deal?
I'm progressive, but I mean, I'm not that progressive. I'm sorry, because I mean, it's just, and women can have that masculinity, like women can have that, but it's like something. Just let it be. Just let it be. Like how, usually it's the guy that's dragging his foot. You know what I mean? If a woman
that's what I told Nasia. Yeah.
Once
the guy says he's committed, you need the commitment from the guy.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I think it should stay like that, because you have a woman asking a man to marry her, and maybe he says no, maybe he says yes out of pressure. He says yes out of pressure. Now you got a divorce coming in 6 months because he wasn't ready for that, and the woman kind of forced him into that role, because I don't care how progressive anybody wants to say they are. Guys are guys and girls are girls.
But this was fun.
This was really fun.
Yes, we got a man's perspective because we always hear ours.
Yeah, we always talking.
We always got the ladies on here. So now we got a man. And and definitely come back anytime, Space. This was
anytime.
Oh yeah. All you gotta do is hit me up. I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let us know what you want to shoot the shit about.
Oh yeah. Now I might hit y'all up. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get me on this next episode. I got something to talk about.
Absolutely.
That's what you do.
We'll be down.
All right. Well, tell me where we can reach you at.
Yep.
What you got going on?
All right. Well, y'all already know it's Wildcard Spadez. I'm representing Put It Like This podcast. Y'all can look me up on Facebook. Matter of fact, Google me, bitch. Nah, I'm playing. But you can look me up on Facebook. You can look me up on Instagram, all the social media platforms, and you look for Put It Like This podcast on Pandora, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and most of the places that you can get your podcasts. That's it.
I will have all of that information in the description box for you guys. So thank you so much for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great conversation with our special guest, Mr. Wildcard Spadez. And as usual, it's Tosh. I'm here with
Nasia. And remember, don't forget, Tasha, they got to like, comment,
yes.
share, subscribe. And if you're on our podcast audio platforms, follow, subscribe to it, tell a friend, share, do all that good stuff.
Definitely continue to watch us grow. And maybe one day I'll be announcing marriage, child.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
We'll have
I also want to say thank you for having me on. Thank y'all for having me on this, on the episode.
And as always, it's the same time, same place, same channel, same show. And we're out with you guys next week. Bye.